What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Trades and Gains. I'm your host, Max Pitts, and well, I have another Nvidia story for you all today. The company that makes the chips running literally every chatbot, robot, and probably half your dating apps just announced they're investing $5 billion into Intel. Yeah, Intel. Remember them? The guys who used to run the world in the 90s until they got smoked by, well, Apple, AMD, and now Nvidia. It's like watching Beyonce announce she's teaming up with Vanilla Ice at this point. And Wall Street lost its damn mind. Intel's stock surged nearly 25% in pre-market alone, which is hilarious because this is the same Intel that 2 weeks ago was laying off 15% of its workers and shelving factory plans in Europe. But hey, nothing says AI future like a company that can't even make payroll in euros. So here's the headline. Nvidia buys $5 billion worth of Intel stock. That's not charity, that's strategy. Intel is America's last big chip manufacturer, like the last blockbuster in Alaska, but for CPUs. The US government already swooped in last month and took a 10% stake worth $8.9 billion. Because apparently Uncle Sam decided Intel was too big to fail or too pathetic to ignore at this point. Now, Nvidia is joining the party. SoftBank already threw in $2 billion. At this rate, by Christmas, Intel will be owned by everyone except for Intel shareholders. Kind of ironic, right? Now, here's the actual deal. Intel is going to build custom CPUs, the boring workhorse chips that run your PC, by the way. And Nvidia is going to glue their fancy AI GPUs on top for servers and AI platforms. The translation, Nvidia doesn't trust Intel to compete in AI. So instead of fighting them, Nvidia is turning to Intel and turning them into their sidekick. Think of Batman and Robin Hood. Nvidia is like Batman. Intel is going to be their Robin Hood, their little cute boy in tights. Now, this is Robin sure as hell needs Batman to stay relevant in this case, because without Nvidia, Intel just fades into the wind like a fart in the couch. Now, Nvidia gets to say, we're not just graphics cards anymore, baby. We've got CPUs too. And Intel, they get to stay. We're still in the game. Please don't quit and unplug us. This isn't just business. This is politics. The Trump administration, the same one currently juggling TikTok tariffs and trade wars like flaming chainsaws, pushed for this. Last month, Washington literally wrote Intel a check for $8.9 billion. Why? Because Intel is the only US-based large-scale chip maker. If Nvidia is America's Ferrari, Intel is the Ford Pinto that somehow has the keys to the armory. The government doesn't want AI chips made in Taiwan or China. They want them made in America, preferably Ohio, by people who still call AI the devil's calculator. So this is Nvidia's stake. It's less Silicon Valley bromance and more geopolitical arranged marriage at this point. And guess what? Wall Street, bless their cocaine-dusted optimism, called this a game changer. Intel stock rocketed 25%. Analysts were like, Intel is back, baby. Really? Intel hasn't been back since MySpace was cool. Their chips powers PCs that no one buys. Their fabs run late like Spirit Airline. And every AI chip launch gets laughed off stage. This is less a comeback and more Nvidia putting them on financial life support. The reality, Intel is now a glorified subcontractor for Nvidia. Nvidia gets cheap CPU supply. Intel gets relevance. Wall Street gets to spin it as a comeback of the decade. Everyone wins except, of course, the consumer, because the second these two monopolistic giants team up, you can bet your next GPU upgrade is going to cost more than your current car. One thing to understand, this is bigger than just Intel's zombie resurrection. It signals that the AI arms race is starting to consolidate. Nvidia is cementing its role not just as the graphics chip king, but as the general purpose computing empire. Intel, they're now America's strategic reserve chip maker. Like oil, dusty, outdated, but vital in case China decides to pull the plug on Taiwan. The takeaway: don't fall for the hype. This is not Intel suddenly out innovating Nvidia. This is Nvidia, the prom king, letting Intel sit at their lunch table so Washington doesn't panic. So yes, Intel stock is up 25%, but you know what else is up? Nvidia's dominance and the US government's willingness to straight up buy a company just to keep it alive. If it's like Apple suddenly invested in Radio Shack. Sure, it spiked the stock, but you'd still know deep down Radio Shack ain't building the iPhone 16 or 17 in this case. Bottom line, Intel didn't win the AI war today. They just got drafted as Nvidia's water boy. I'm Max Pitts. This is Trades and Gains. Hope you all have a great trading day, and I'll see you in the markets.